Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Screening Room Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things movie and TV. This is Mike and my co host, Evan.
What's up, everyone?
And today we're going to be going over a ranked list of our most anticipated films for 2026.
That's right. So today you guys are seeing my screen live here. Mike is going to be just watching a stream over Discord, but he's obviously going to have input. We're both going to go through these movies one by one and basically debate which category they fall into. Um, we have to like meet somewhere in the middle with some of these. I know just looking at this roster that we have, we're gonna disagree on a few of these. So we're gonna try to like meet in the middle and make a list here of just some of the big. I know that we don't have all the 2026 movies, obviously. I just wanted to put some of the heavy hitters in there. So yeah, unless you have anything to add, I say we just hop straight into it.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, so we'll just go left to right, top to bottom. So I guess that we start with one of the biggest ones of the year, if not maybe the biggest, Avengers Doomsday. What are we thinking for that?
Honestly,
I
for me, even though the MCU has kind of had a hit or miss record lately, I'm still feeling a strong S for this one.
yeah, I agree. Also, let me just preface this before we continue. We're not gonna, at least not right away. We're not gonna like its specific position in S doesn't matter. So like we could put minions here, for example, which spoiler alert, it's not gonna end up in S. But like that doesn't mean that like Minions is like somehow worse than Avengers or whatever. They're just so like their specific order in the category does not matter. So I just want to preface that before we continue. But yeah, I think there's not much to say about that. It's I mean it's the culmination of like how long has the MCU been going on now? Like almost going on 20 years now. I mean,
Oh my goodness, about, yeah, like 18 or so years. Almost
yeah.
20 years, yeah, in a couple years. It's crazy. Bringing back some
So
legacy characters, including the Fox X-Men.
I was
Looking
gonna
forward
say
to
that's
that.
like the big distinguishing thing between Endgame and this one. We're having all the Fox people. I mean, there's some rumors that we might get like Toby in there, Toby Maguire Spider Man. I mean, yeah, not much to be said there. Will it be good? That's a completely different question. But we're not ranking these based on like whether we think they're going to be good necessarily, just like how excited we are for them, I guess. Um, and with that in
Exactly.
mind, Avengers,
And getting the
obviously.
chance to see, exactly. And getting the chance to potentially see two of the greatest leaders in Marvel at the same time in James Martin's Cyclops and Chris Evans' Captain America on the same screen alone, along with Anthony Mackie's Captain America as well. That alone puts it in S for me.
Yeah, I think the biggest source of controversy for this one is RDJ being cast as not Iron Man, but Doctor Doom. I think I remember I was watching like the announcements come in live, like when they announced that at what it was at like Comic Con a few years ago, and I was like, what are we doing? But
Yep.
I don't know. And we still haven't seen any footage of him as Doctor Doom. So I think it's still too early to say for sure how that decision will play out. But regardless, we'll see what happens. um anyway, keeping with the
Exactly.
Marvel theme, our next one, Spider-Man Brand New Day, the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. What are we thinking?
Yep. I'm also thinking for S this time. He's going to finally get his classic suit. He could be finally tying up that loose end at the end of Homecoming by battling the Scorpion. And I'm just interested in the overall potential for the movie itself.
So, do we know for sure that I agree with everything you said, first off, but do we know for sure that Scorpion's like the main villain, or is he like supposed to be a side character? Because, I mean, again, we don't have the trailer for this one either, but like, do we know who the
Y-
like
Yeah,
villain is?
at the time of recording, we still don't have a trailer for this yet, but I do believe that, according to my sources, Scorpion looks like he's going to be one of the side villains. But even still, just getting a payoff to that post-credit scene alone is making me look.
Yeah, well, as MCU fans, I think we can both attest that we know a thing or two about unpaid off post credit scenes, so it'll be nice to get one that actually like amounts to something after. it'll be like 9 years of waiting. So I'm here
Yes,
for that. But yeah, no, like you said, the suit looks great. Building off what you said, I'm glad that they're doing a lot of it practically. Like we're doing like real, like web swinging. Like they actually did that, and I forget where they shot that, but like they're not using like, I don't know, like CGI. They're really just going out there and doing it, which I think is just going to really translate well to the big screen. So I'm glad that we're doing that.
same here. And while I'm not entirely thrilled about the idea of other heroes potentially sharing the spotlight, I am curious to see how John Bernthal's Punisher is ingrained in the film as well, particularly with his comic booky outfit this time and just the overall aesthetic he's going to bring to the film.
Do you want to publicly claim the line that you predicted for Punisher now?
Sure, why not? Based off of my early predictions for the film, I wouldn't be, let's just say, I wouldn't be surprised to see John Bernthal's Punisher make a brand new day title reference in a sort of like a like bantery, morally ambiguous speech towards the lead character played by Tom Holland.
Yeah, yeah, that's putting it lightly. Because obviously, Punisher. Yeah, I think that's yeah. I would not be surprised if that's how we get the title drop. So no, I'm here for that. In the interest of time, let's keep going here. Next up, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Um, I know my thoughts, so I'll just let you say your what you think first.
See, for me, I know this is our third one in a row, but I'm also going to have to go S with this one. It's a
That's
tale
the
almost,
correct answer.
as old as pretty much everything. Yes. It's a tale as old as time, and quite frankly, pretty much anything you can think of at this point, but it's still a great classic film. And I'm interested to see what Christopher Nolan's going to bring to it this time.
Well, yeah, we got Christopher Nolan coming off his Best Picture, like basically just off Oscar sweeping movie Oppenheimer. It's going to be the first movie ever to be shot entirely with 70 millimeter IMAX cameras. The cast is stacked. We got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Zendaya. I know I'm forgetting some people, but I mean, the cast is just insane. Obviously, it's Nolan, so they're filming everything, or at least as much as possible, practically. I'm here for it. I've heard a lot of complaints about the costume accuracy. Personally, I think they look awesome. I'm here for it, so I agree. S tier all the way. Um,
Absolutely.
Speaking of Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, A24's The Drama. What are we thinking for that?
Hmm. Honestly, for this one, I might have to put this one in C. I'm just going to see how it goes, just based off the trailers we get, but I'll probably end up watching it on streaming for me.
That's valid. See, okay, I should probably preface this before we go through the rest of this. I have a Regal Unlimited subscription, so like I'm probably going to see most of if not all of these movies in theaters anyway. But I think I agree with you. If I wasn't paying for that, I would probably wait for it to be streaming. But it does sound like a cool movie. Basically, my understanding is like Robert Pattinson and Zendaya are engaged, and like a week, I think it's like a week before their wedding, Zendaya somehow reveals like some messed up thing that she did in her past that like completely throws off the dynamic between them, and it's kind of like it's about like I guess the drama between them. So I feel like I still feel like that'll be a fun one.
While I do think the film could be good, it just doesn't have the same kind of feeling I get as with our previous films, including some of the ones that are later down the line. I
Oh
just,
yeah,
I
I
don't,
mean it's definitely
I'm not a
less of a
huge fan of,
blockbuster.
oh, absolutely. Plus, I'm just not a huge fan of any like rom-coms in general. That's just not my style. But at the same time, I'm still interested in the film. So, like I said, I'll probably wait till.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um, Okay, well, here's a slightly bigger, I say slightly sarcastically, um, the Michael Jackson movie, Michael. What are we thinking for that?
Ooh, that's a tough one. See, for me, I'm kind of either thinking low S or high A. I definitely want to see the film in theaters, but I'm not entirely sure where I stand with it at this point. Just based off the one trailer alone, I am definitely still excited for the film. I just don't know if it's a day one movie for me. That's all.
I would say it's a day one for me, but I'll tell you what, we'll put it in A for now, and then like as we put more stuff in the list in general, then we can like reevaluate and see what else is in A and if it Michael's like stacks up against them. But no, I mean, I think it's going to be a great experience in theaters. It's if you're, I would say this doesn't really apply to us, but like if you're by an AMC theater and you have access to like a Dolby cinema, I'm sure that would like rock in Dolby with a Dolby Atmos setup. But no, I mean, I mean, he's one of, if not the most famous, like musical icons. From what we've seen, Jafar Jackson does an amazing job playing Michael in the what two trailers now that we have. So I'm really excited for it.
As am I. And like you said, they didn't call him the king of pop for no reason. I'm definitely thrilled with the choice in finally doing a Michael Jackson biopic. I'm just curious to see like the time periods this film is willing to explore. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, next up we have Ryan Gosling in Project Hail Mary. I'll start because I know you haven't read the book, but I will say if you get the chance, read the book or listen to the audiobook. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but it's really, really good. The trailers look great. We're actually going to be getting a new trailer tomorrow for the Super Bowl. But the two trailers that we already have, I think it looks great. But did you have any thoughts beyond that? If you've seen the trailers, maybe?
Well, as someone who's only seen the trailers and hasn't had a chance to read the book, I am interested to see how this goes, particularly with the idea of it being more of like a space exploration film. I'm gonna
Mm.
have to say I'll put this one in A, still in theaters. I'm interested in seeing this one. I still would like to see it in theaters, but like I was saying, the same thing with Michael Jackson. It just doesn't have the same, um, effect as the other ones in the S tier.
No, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of early. We're still like a couple weeks out from this movie, but there's some buzzing that like it could even be a best picture candidate. And I know we're like the year's only started, but I mean, and again, I'm not going to elaborate much because I don't want to spoil it. But I think it's going to be pretty good. So yeah, I'll say let's keep it an A for now, and we can revisit that in Michael if we feel like it. But anyway, let's move on. We have Spielberg's latest Disclosure Day. What do you what are your thoughts on that one?
Hmm. For this one, I think I'm gonna have to go low A, high B. I'm still interested in the film, but I still don't know much about it, given we only have one or two trailers out by the time of the recording. While
So yeah, there is going to
while
be
Steven
another
Spielberg
trailer
is a
tomorrow.
classic filmmaker. Okay, so at the moment, I'll put this in a low A, if that's something you're willing to agree with.
Oh yeah, no, I'm cool with that. Yeah. We only have the one trailer like you said. We're getting another one tomorrow, but listen, it's Spielberg. He's going Have you seen Close Encounters?
I have not. I have seen his other alien works, such as like E.T. the
Oh yeah.
Extraterrestrial, and I have seen other alien films like Signs. So if it's anything like those two films, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, no. I mean listen, I mean he's one of the goats. So, yeah, I'm excited. Plus you got Emily Blunt in there. She's great. So, no, I'm excited for that. Next up, we have only one of two DC movies we're getting this year. We have Supergirl. What do you think about this one?
For me, I'd say that have to be a low S. I'm looking forward to it because I really did enjoy the film's predecessor, Superman, starring David Cornsweet. I thought the film was interesting, and I'm curious to see the direction they take with the new lead.
Yeah, Millie Alcott. What is she in? Was she in House of the Dragon? I want to say. I haven't actually seen the show, but I feel like
Yes. Yeah, she was in House of Dragon.
yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it looks based on the one trailer that we have, I think it looks really good. But I'm gonna argue with your place. I'm gonna say, like for me, my anticipation level is about the same. I would say like on par with like Michael and Hail Mary. So I would almost think like a high A. But I don't. I mean, I get what you're saying though. Like, because Superman was great. One of my favorite movies of last year, up there with like Sinners. Um, but I don't know. I, and if I'm not mistaken, you've read Woman of Tomorrow, right? Or have you not?
I have not actually. I would like
Oh,
to
okay,
before the movie comes out.
okay.
Um, but I know a little about the comic overall, and I'm also more than just based off the comic. I'm also intrigued to see how Jason Momoa finally goes about playing Lobo, a character he's mentioned he's been interested in playing for years now. So
Even like before
that
Aquaman, right?
alone is another reason why it's even before Aquaman, when Zack Snyder was in charge of the DC universe, he had mentioned he wanted to play Lobo. So I'm just kind of intrigued to see how his performance is going to go for the role.
Okay. Well, all right. How's this? What if we put it at the top of A and then we revisit at the end with Michael and the others here? Is that a compromise we can make?
That works for me. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
absolutely.
There we go. Okay, next up, this is another one that we're getting another trailer for. I think actually the first real trailer for tomorrow. Toy Story 5. Um, like I
Hmm.
said, I mean, we really only have like a brief teaser. We know like the main like story idea is it's going to be like toys versus technology, which I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, do we really need another Toy Story movie?" But I'm going to be honest, I actually think that's a really cool premise. Yeah, especially with like the iPad kids, now with like I don't know. I think that's actually like I think it's a really cool way of like telling a story like that. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm going to have to put that in B. I don't know if I'm going to go to the theaters to watch this one. I grew up on the original three Toy Story movies, but it doesn't feel the same without the original like the original cast, some of which have passed away, and others the toys haven't reappeared. But I am looking forward to the film regardless. So I'll check it out in theaters if I have.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, especially because we don't have any real like we don't really have a lot of footage to go off of. Again, that'll change tomorrow, but for now, I agree with you. Next, we have DC's Clayface. Um, what are your thoughts on that one?
I'd have to give that one a high A. I don't know if I'm. I think I'm more excited for the Michael Jackson film, but I'm definitely looking forward to this one more than Supergirl. I've always been a huge fan of the lesser known Batman characters like Mr. Freeze or Killer Moth or even like the Mad Hatter. So I'm interested to see how they're going to be able to do Clayface for the big screen as well, especially since we're getting a horror film um, twist on the character.
Yeah, well, I know you in particular, you really like some of the underrepresented Batman villains, at least in terms of like live action projects. And for me, I like the fact that they they're going like full practical with the cosmetics or however you want to like the makeup that they're doing. Even James Gunn has like gone on record and he was like, it's actually cheaper to do it practically than to use CGI. And I don't know. I think that's just going to be like a really unique one. It will be interesting because we don't even have a Batman yet. I mean, who knows? Maybe it gets revealed in this movie. But as far as we know, there's no official casting yet. So I don't know. But I do like the premise. I kind of hope that they stick to his root of like being like a failed like Hollywood. Like, what was his position in Hollywood?
He was a famous actor before a terrible accident, which ended up disfiguring him before he
Okay.
became Clayface.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I hope they stick to that. I think that's a cool that's a cool it's a cool origin. But no, I agree. Again, we have no
Yeah,
footage, so we're just going off of vibes. Next up, Dune Part 3. What do you think?
I think I might have to put that in a high B. I
High
watched the
B?
first two Dune films, but I don't know if I'm really in the mood to go to the theaters to see the next installment. While I am looking forward to another Timothy Chalamet performance, again, I just feel like the past two Dune movies, while they are good films, I don't know if they're theater worthy for me. Um, just in comparison to the other ones on the list. That's
No, yeah, that's fair. Um yeah, I feel like I mean, listen, I there have been conflicting reports on whether this thing is shot on 70 millimeter IMAX or just regular IMAX, but I think it is like it is confirmed that in some capacity it is shot entirely on IMAX, whether that be digital or film. Again, we don't know, but I don't know. I like you. I'm not as big on the Doom movies as I feel like a lot of people are. I am definitely in need of a rewatch. I will say that. So I definitely will go through them. And I did watch both Doom movies actually in IMAX. They re-released both of them. Well, they re-released the original right before Part Two came out, and they both were really good in IMAX. But yeah, no, I feel like I don't know. It's just I don't want to say it's not my thing, but I just don't feel like I really latched onto it the way a lot of other people did. But for me, I definitely will be there in IMAX. I'm going to do the Avengers Dunes Day thing, the double feature. But yeah, no, assuming they stick to the same release date, which now we have Robert Downey Jr. and Timothy Chalamet like kind of marketing that. So I think they probably will, but I guess we'll see. Next up, this is a controversial one. Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu.
ooh, I think I'll have to put that in high B or low A. While I am
I'm
a
thinking
huge
low
Star
A.
Wars fan, I am less interested to see this one in the theaters just because I was a kind of hoping for a Mando season 4 instead. And I kind of have a feeling that this is what it's going to end up being, like a Mandalorian season 3.5. So I'm less intrigued to go to the theaters, but it's the first Star Wars movie in theaters since what, 2019?
Yep. It'll be
So
a
I'll definitely
7 year wait.
be, that's correct. So I'll definitely see it in theaters, mostly for the reason of just getting to say I saw another Star Wars movie in theaters. But that's all it is for me.
Yeah, no, I think going off what you said, I mean, Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were great. Season 3 is kind of a dud. Um, and by extension, the Book of Boba Fett, which was kind of like Mando season 2.5. Um, but I think for me, I don't know. I was hoping for a more like bombastic return to Star Wars on the big screen, and it feels like an extension of the TV show isn't really the move. Personally, I'm more hyped for 2027's Starfighter movie with Ryan Gosling. I think that's a much more fitting, like, you know, return to the big screen for Star Wars. But also, like you said, it's a Star Wars movie. I've been a fan of it for over a decade. I'm going to be there in theaters, but I'm just not as excited as I was for any of the previous Star Wars movies, including like Solo and Rogue One. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's a Star Wars movie. So I feel like you still kind of have to see it in theaters. Next up, we have the sequel to The Social Network, The Social Reckoning. Um, do you have any
Hmm.
thoughts on that?
I don't know if this is controversial, but I think I'm going to skip this one. I did
Really?
watch the first Social Network movie. I thought it was interesting, but it's just not my thing. As far as like biopics, I'm more interested in like the musical, theatrical side of a biopic instead of real life events like the invention of Facebook.
I'm
So
gonna
it's either going to be a
counter
high
you.
D or. Or okay,
No, no, no. Continue. Sorry. There's an audio delay, so like
no good.
sometimes I cut you off on accident.
Gotcha. Or I was just gonna say, or if I get a chance, I'll watch it on streaming. So I'm gonna put it in a like a low C, high D level ranking.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, for me, I love the first one. Like, it's in my top, I would say, even like, I forget where exactly I ranked it on Letterbox, but I think it's in my top 50. It's definitely my top 100 list of favorite movies of all time. I think I mean, just by the nature of like what actually happened in real life, I don't think it'll be quite as interesting as the original, especially with Mark Zuckerberg not returning. I forget who is, or not Mark Zuckerberg. Sorry. Oh my God. Who played Mark Zuckerberg? Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, he's not returning.
That's correct.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. I got it messed up. But yeah, Jesse Eisenberg isn't returning. I forget who's replacing him, but um yeah, I don't know. So I'd still say, I mean, for me, I would put it in like a B, but I'll meet you in the middle and put it at C. Because I feel like,
Okay,
yeah, and I mean, we don't have a trailer yet, so again, we don't really have a lot to go off of. I know it's based on a book, but I don't think either of us have read it, so I'm cool with C if you are.
that works for me.
Next up, then, we have the sequel to Godzilla minus one, Godzilla minus zero. Have you seen minus one?
Unfortunately, no, I have not gotten a chance to see the entirety of Godzilla minus one. The very few bits I have seen, it looks astounding. So I think for me, I think I'll have to put this in a B. I might not be as excited to go see this in the theaters, but I'll still try if I absolutely can.
Yeah, for me, the first Godzilla minus one came out when I first subscribed to Regal Unlimited, and yeah, I mean, I heard it was good, but I just kind of like went in blind. And I was like, that was one of, if not the best movies I've gone into, like theatrically anyway, blind. Um, it was amazing. I would highly recommend you watch it in its entirety. I think it's on Netflix still, and if not, I can get you my Blu-ray copy. But yeah, it's really good. I think it
Okay.
won yeah, it won an Oscar for best visual effects, which it absolutely deserved. And I forget what the budget was, but it was like I remember thinking it was like next to nothing, and it looks better than like half the CGI heavy movies that are made in Hollywood. So no, I agree. That's going to be a banger, I think. Um, yeah, no, not much more to say about that. Again, we don't really have any footage. So next up, we have the Mummy reboot. Um, do you have any thoughts on that one?
See, for me, I'm more excited for the Mummy
Sequel.
like the return to the classic trilogy, the sequels with the Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser characters. If that was there, I'd shoot that up to an S. But for this project, I think I might have to skip this one. I'm not as interested in it. It's set in the modern day, which could have some cool things, but I'm more interested in like the period piece, like in the one from the night.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think Blumhouse is producing this one, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but we did get a trailer. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it had any of the magic that the original did. I'll probably still watch it again. I mean, I'm biased in that respect, but I can't say that I'm nearly as excited for it as any of the other things that we have listed so far. And like you, I'm much more interested in the return to like the Brendan Fraser movies. So no, yeah, I agree. Next up we have Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, starring Christian Bale and I forget the actress's name. What are your thoughts on that one?
My thoughts on this one, honestly, I really enjoyed Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein from this past October. I thought that was a great take on the original novel, but I'm not as interested in this one. While I do think it could be an interesting premise for a Bonnie and Clyde type film with Frankenstein and the bride, I'm just not as interested. I think I'll check it out in theaters if I have the time, but I'm not as excited as the other ones in A or S.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if this is. I don't remember if this is Maggie Gyllenhaal's directorial debut or not, but either way, I mean, just the fact that it's a new Christian Bale project, I feel like he's kind of just a chameleon in terms of his acting style. He can really just do anything. He has such variety. I mean, he's been Batman, he's been Gore the God Butcher, he's was that guy in Ford v Ferrari. He physically can like change his body. I mean, he literally goes from like skin and bones to being like just completely jacked to being like overweight. And I forget what movie that was, but like he got really overweight. I mean, I don't know. I think he's really gonna have a lot of fun sinking his teeth into this role, and I am really excited to see that. So yeah. Next
Okay,
up, we have Coyote versus, I might mispronounce this, Acme, ACME. Is that right?
that is correct. Yep,
Okay.
Coyote
Yeah,
versus Acme.
that's what I thought. Did you have any thoughts on this one?
Actually, yes. I grew up with the original Looney Tunes. I used to watch them all the time on my DVD box set. So I'm interested to see how the Coyote versus Acme film goes, particularly with all the running gags in the originals, with the faulty Acme kits that the Coyote ended up purchasing. Plus, the film was shelved for a couple of years, and they're finally allowing it to go out into theaters. So I'm really interested to see how it goes. So I'm gonna have to put this in a high B or low A, depending on what you say.
I'm thinking high A. I didn't grow up with Looney Tunes the same way you did, but my I'm really interested in it because it was like shelved and now it's like finally coming out. I thought it was one of the movies like Batgirl that supposedly got like deleted for tax write-off purposes, but I guess they managed to sell it to a different distributor. I don't I kind of stopped keeping track of like what was going on behind the scenes in regards to that, but no, I'm really interested now to see it because apparently, like the people who like sort of saved the movie, and like the people who've seen it, it's apparently it's really good. So I'm excited for it just purely off of that alone. So I'm good with B. Next
Okay.
up, we have the live action Moana movie. Do you have any
Hmm.
thoughts on that?
Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to skip this one. I saw the original. I think it's a great modern classic Disney movie. So I don't know how I feel about them redoing it when it's only like 10 years
10
old
years
at this
old.
point.
Yeah. I think it's 2016. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So
No, I agree.
I'm just gonna have to skip this one for now.
Yeah, I think I forget exactly what title it holds, but the original Moana, I think, is like consistently these last few years been the most streamed movie, not just on Disney Plus, but I think just across all streaming platforms, like every year. I could be totally wrong about that. Fact check me in the comments, but I feel so like obviously they're doing it for the paycheck. I mean, there's no denying that. But I have to admit, I am remotely curious to see how Dwayne Johnson pulls off that role in live action because obviously he was also Maui in the animated movie. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's too soon. I can think of more I mean, frankly, I don't think we should be adapting nearly as many live or animated movies into live action in the first place. But if we are sticking with that, I feel like there are other animated movies that are older, and maybe you have more of an excuse to adapt. And Moana is just not that. I don't think so. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Next up, we have the sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Do you have any thoughts on that? I know you didn't necessarily grow up with the Nintendo games, so I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are.
Well, for me, I'm not really I don't want to say I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm just not as curious about it as the rest of the films on this list. And like you said, I really didn't grow up in Nintendo, so I think I'm gonna have to give this like a low B, high C, just because I really don't know a lot about the characters, and I didn't really have like a nostalgic connection to the film. But overall, I thought the first one was solid, so I'll see where this one goes.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I still think there's some creative choices that, I mean, we can't get around because they were made in the first one. Like, I still don't really know if I really like Chris Pratt as Mario and Jack Black as Bowser. But I have to admit, Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite video games just of all time. So I am kind of curious to see how they adapt it. Although, based on the trailer that we've seen, and again, we're getting another trailer for that tomorrow during the Super Bowl, um, which is probably the day that this episode's going to be uploaded, actually. Oh, yeah. Um, but it looks like they're also taking elements out of Mario Odyssey, which is another one of my like favorite games. So I'm curious how those elements are going to translate. So yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I don't know. I'm just not as excited for it as this other stuff, but there's that little bit of nostalgia in the back of my head that keeps it above D. So yeah, I'm cool with that. Next up, this movie comes
Okay.
out in about a month, I think. I actually have tickets to an early screening for it, and at the end of this month. So it is Pixar's latest Hoppers. Do you have any thoughts at all on that?
Yeah, I've actually seen a couple trailers on it. It's an interesting premise, the idea of going in and pretending to be an animal and exploring just the wildlife. It's a good idea, but I think I'm gonna have to wait till this one's on streaming. Like I said, it's a good premise, but overall, I think I'll catch it on streaming.
No, yeah, that's fair. I feel like, I mean, obviously, I'm not as excited for it as I am with Toy Story 5. And I mean, yeah, but I have to admit, I am kind of curious. Obviously, it's a Pixar movie. I'm going to an early access screening on, what is it, February 28th. So we'll be able to get you guys an early review for that movie that day. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. But to be fair, I feel like a lot of Pixar's like weirdest concept movies actually turn out to be like pretty decent. So I don't know. I feel like this could either be really awful or really good. I don't really see it being like mediocre. I think it's just going to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. So, um yeah, no, I'm cool with C. Next up, you're probably going to have more to say about this one than I do. We have Scary Movie 6.
All right, for this one, I don't know if this is a crazy thing to say. I'm putting in an S. I am really looking forward to this film. We finally get to see the Wayans brothers return and not only just act in the film as well, but direct it finally again. I love the first two scary movies, and I'm really interested to see what they're going to do for this next one.
Okay, I'm going to counter you. I would have put it in B. So I'm going to put it, I would say A, but let me explain why before I like make that placement. So I have not seen the prior five. I've seen the first one, the original. I have not seen the other four, I guess it would be. Um, and I like the idea of like a movie that parodies all of these horror movies, especially because I'm not the biggest like horror movie fan in the world. So it's kind of fun to see them get made fun of in a lighthearted way. And obviously they're like meme gold. So there's that, but I just don't see it. Again, just based off the first movie, I don't think it's like the same blockbuster level as like an Avengers, a Spider-Man, or a Chris Nolan movie. So I would argue A, if that's okay with you.
Okay, I'll agree with A under the condition we
Here,
can
I'll put
put it
it like at the top.
right.
Is that a
It
yeah? Here. Is that cool?
that works for me. That works
Okay.
for me.
Okay. Again, I
Yes,
know
and
I'm
when you
like
get a
extremely
chance,
biased in
since
that
you've only seen the
sense.
first one,
Yeah. No. And I will watch the
I
others
highly recommend the
before.
second one. The first two are great.
Yeah. I have a box set of the
Yes, yeah, the
first three actually.
first two
So
in particular are the
what did you say?
best
Sorry.
ones.
The first two are the best ones? Yeah.
Oh no, I
No.
was just saying the first two are the best ones. Those are the best ones.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair. I will watch them before that movie comes out. So actually, speaking of slashers, next up we have Scream. It's cut out, but Scream 7, I believe it is, the newest Scream movie. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah. Ironically, I'm not as excited for this one. I've never really been a huge fan of the Scream films. I think there's better slashers out there, like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. So I think I might check it out on streaming, but I also might skip this one too. So I'll go like a low C, high D for this
I'll agree with low C. Yeah. And actually, spoiler alert, our next episode might be a Friday the 13th special, so stay tuned for that possibly. But yeah, no, I think of the slasher franchises, like I said earlier, I'm not a big horror guy in general, but of the slashers, I think Scream is probably my favorite just because it's like it still sort of feels like it's making fun of the genre, especially the first couple. I feel like it kind of loses that a little bit in like the newer ones. But I'm still vaguely curious about it. So, but just like a tad above Skip. So I agree with that placement. Um, yeah. Let's see. Next up, we have Minions 3, which I believe is getting a trailer tomorrow. So right now we're just going off of, again, just what we think. But do you have any thoughts on it as of now?
As of now, I grew up watching the Despicable Me movies. I've seen the first Minions movie. I don't know. I'm not as interested in this one in the theaters, but I don't know if I want to skip it either. I think with this one, I'll put it right between. I think I'll put it right between the drama and the social reckoning.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Yeah, no, like you, I grew up with those movies. I feel like I feel like as we get more of them though, they start to like kind of lose the plot a bit. The first Despicable Me is amazing. The second one's good. Third one's fine. The fourth one I saw in theaters, but I honestly could not tell you anything that happens in that movie beyond Minions get superpowers. And it was the same thing with the Minions franchise. The first one was good, and I honestly could not tell you anything that happened in the second one. I know I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it. So but I know I will end up watching it just because there is still that little bit of nostalgia in the back of my head. Basically similar to the Mario Galaxy movie, I guess. Um Last up, I know you're gonna have more to say about this one than I will, but we have the new live action He-Man movie. So, what are your thoughts on that one?
Honestly, I think this movie has the power. While I'm not a huge He-Man fan, I do think that this is going to be an interesting reboot, especially with the direction they're going of it being a more of an earthbound story of, a guy who ends up going back to his home planet in search of, the mystical sword associated with the character. And I'm definitely interested to see where this is going to go. I think I'm going to put it in B. I'll check it out if I have time. Like I said, I'm not a huge He-Man fan, but the trailer looks interesting, so I might want to give it a try.
I have zero connection to the show. I haven't watched the show. I never had any of like the toys or anything. I haven't even seen the trailer. I've seen some of the images that Empire Magazine put out. It looks cartoony, like in a good way. Like it looks like they did a decent job adapting like whatever would have been in the cartoon. Again, I haven't seen the cartoon, so I don't know. But I mean, it does look interesting. I'm curious how this will do because if I'm not mistaken, it's a little older. older franchise. I want to say like the 80s. Um, I don't know if I'm correct in saying that, but it'll be interesting to see how
Yeah.
like sort of a okay, yeah, how like a legacy reboot adaptation will do, like even just at the box office. But I am vaguely curious about it, so no, I'm cool with B.
Okay.
Um, so that's everything. Do we want to? Is there any like? Because right now I feel like we could reorder some of these, like in their categories. I say S. We should just say like the order doesn't really matter because I would say I'm like equally hyped for all three of these if you agree with that.
I agree with that sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just not going to bother with the order here. I know you wanted Scary Movie 6 to be at the top of A. Um, did you have any other like ideas about like an order within A, or does it look okay the way it is?
I'm in agreement with A.
How about B?
B, I think I might have to actually put He-Man right between Dune and Toy Story 5. I'm looking forward to it
Really?
more than Toy Story 5, but I do think Dune, again, just because I'm more familiar with the Dune movies than any of the He-Man cartoons or the film with Dolph Lundgren in it.
Oh, I
I'm
didn't
more
realize there
interested in
was
the
a film too.
Dune. Um, yes, actually, yeah. It was okay, but I'm looking. I guess if I had to pick one of the two, I'm looking more forward to the Dune um, third movie than the new reboot for the He-Man film. So that's where I put it in the B category.
Was the He-Man, the old He-Man film, was that also live action or was it an animated one?
That one was also live action.
Oh, okay. So I guess this isn't. I guess I was wrong then. I assumed that this was its first time in live action. I guess I was wrong. That's interesting. Okay. Um, I have one. Hmm. How would you feel about flip flopping it with Toy Story, but still keeping it above Godzilla and the Bride?
That works for me.
Okay. How do you have any suggestions for C?
Honestly, I think we can keep C the same. And D, I don't think D matters since
Yeah,
like we
yeah,
both established with those two films, we're just probably going to skip them.
yeah. No, I agree. I'm cool with that. I think 2026 is going to be a big year. Again, I know we probably skipped some. There are going to be more movies that get announced later down the line, obviously. But I feel like these are like most of the heavy hitters. And I feel like it's a pretty stacked year. And to be clear, I think we can both agree, like even B on up are like really like I don't know, like I'd say I'm hyped for everything like beyond up. Even like some of the stuff in C, I'm kind of excited for. Like the drama I want to highlight, that's going to be a big one. Um, but yeah, especially beyond up. I think it's going to be a really stacked year for film.
Yeah, I second that statement as well. I do agree that anything being up seems like a really solid film. So I'm just overall excited to see what this year brings on the big screen.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, with that said, guys, I think we'll probably wrap it up here. I know this was a shorter one. Well, actually, I guess not. We really did do that for 50 minutes. I think normally what we'll do is we'll have like different segments. So I think normally we'll have like sort of a movie news roundup thing in the beginning where we talk about like news from this week, and then we'll talk about whatever random subject. Like I kind of hinted at earlier, we might do a Friday the 13th one on Friday the 13th this month. But other than that, yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say before I close her on up?
No, I'm all set. I'm just excited to see where this year goes for the films.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This has been the Screening Room Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.